What's up, guys, and welcome back to another episode of Planet Zoo. Once again, if you guys are enjoying the Africa Pack mini-series, make sure you leave a like on the video. It'd be greatly appreciated. Additionally, if you've been watching the Africa Pack mini-series and you haven't yet subscribed, please consider doing so. That would also be greatly appreciated. But today, we're going to be continuing on with the Africa Zoo that we've been working on. What is this, episode 15 now, I think? We've been working on this a lot longer than I expected. I kind of figured we'd do like maybe 10 episodes on this, but you guys definitely let me know that you've been thoroughly enjoying the series, so we've kept it up so far. With that being said, I do think the zoo is approaching its max capacity. I think we've done a whole lot of great work thus far, but at some point, you know, things do need to come to an end. So we are approaching the end of this series. We're not quite there yet. The one thing that I think we're really missing is a cat exhibit, a big cat exhibit. We have lions, cheetahs, African wild dogs. It's not a cat. I don't even know why I suggested that. There are a lot of other great African animals that we can, of course, add into the zoo, but the next one that I really want to do is, of course, a large African cat. And to be honest, lions are pretty up there with one of the coolest animals on the planet. So I feel like that's probably the one we're gonna do. Cheetahs are still very cool. I'm just a little bit biased, I guess, on the lions. So as you guys know, in order to add a new exhibit species into the zoo, we first need an exhibit. We first need a habitat for that animal to be placed into. So you'll notice we have a lot of great progress over here on the right side. Not so much progress going on the left side of the zoo. And I didn't actually mean to do this whatsoever, but I've almost mirrored exactly what we have over here on the left side of the zoo. So it's straight all the way through the food court area, and then here it like splits off. You know, there's a fork in the road, and we've basically recreated the exact same thing, just without the slope there from that observation deck. And this is what we're left with. I don't want to leave this path flat. I really want to try to. We've gone up now with the zoo. We've gone down over here in the elephant exhibit as well. You can see the paths were left flat, but the terrain was actually lowered. And then over here in Mini Africa, the paths were elevated and the terrain was left kind of where it was originally. So what I want to try to do with this lion exhibit is actually take this path down into the terrain, and then hopefully we can have a larger clearing out here that just sort of gradually slopes down. I have no idea if this is going to work. I also just thought that this elephant was walking on the roof of this building, but we're good. I'm just totally seeing things now. First things first here, we got to get our paths figured out. So I believe these were 23-foot wide path sections. You'll notice if we try to build a new path and we want to go down, right? So I'm just smashing J right now and it's not doing anything. So what we actually need to do is turn on either flattened terrain or tunneling. I can't remember which one. Definitely tunneling. Definitely tunneling. All right. So now that we've done that, we're actually going to back this up slightly and we're going to turn tunneling on right about here. Now, of course, we have to do that to the opposite side, so we're going to drag this out 2 clicks. Okay, so now you can see the terrain is actually being removed from underneath these paths, which isn't ideal. That's not exactly what I was going for, but after we have finished the paths, we can then delete them once again, add in a bit of terrain just to the left of this side and the right of this side, and we should be able to close that weird gap right there. So we had to do a similar thing over here. You'll notice on the right side here, totally flat, perfectly level terrain, and then underneath of it, it just kind of drops off like a sheer cliff. So we're going to try to replicate a similar thing just over here for our lion exhibit. Now that we've brought this path out straight 2 clicks, I'm going to do a left-hand turn and then try to do a very gradual descent. So this is actually going to go underneath the terrain. We're just going to lower the terrain down after the fact, so don't worry about that too much. All right, so this is what I'm thinking. We're doing a right-hand turn. I guess if we're walking down this path, we're going to be doing a right-hand turn. I think I did a single click to the right, but it's still going down. So we had 1, 2, and 3 right-hand turns, and then straight, still going down. I think we did 3 more, and then on the 4th one, we put it back to being flat. So all of the stuff above this path we're going to have to bring down and actually delete because it Obviously doesn't look very good like this, but before we do that, I'm gonna replicate the exact same thing, just on the opposite side over here. Okay, so far so good. It's a little weird being down underneath the terrain like this, but I'm gonna bring this straight across now, I think. I don't know. Let's look at it from an aerial perspective, and we'll see if we think that's big enough for lions. So I would be bringing the path across these two here, so that would become a straight... I don't know. I like the shape of it, though. I think that's kind of cool. It's almost like a teardrop, but it has a flat bottom. I feel like it might be big enough for them. But then part of me is like, maybe not. And actually, there might be something else cool that we can do here with maybe like an underpass just for the lions so they can go underneath the path over here. And then maybe they have like a little cave or a little hidey hole just underneath the terrain over here somewhere. Let's try this path thing, and then we'll lower down the terrain. We'll see if maybe that helps clarify things in our mind a little bit more. Okay, so we've got the terrain kind of leveled off, definitely not in the center, but above the actual paths look okay now. This is going to be a little bit of trial and error as well, because like I mentioned, I've never made an exhibit like this before, so it's going to take some getting used to, but right now I'd say we're looking pretty dang solid. So the next thing I want to try to do is actually delete a good majority of the path that we just laid down. I know, seems a little bass-ackwards, but if we bring the terrain up just to like where this other one is, I love how I point at the screen, because it's not like you guys can see what I'm pointing at. I should just use my cursor. Right here, we're gonna try to bring the rest of the terrain up so it's level with this surface. That way, it'll look normal everywhere else, you know?
A few moments later.
So this is the mess that I've currently left myself with, but it's gonna be okay. You know what? It's gonna be fine. So the thing that I'm trying to figure out how to do efficiently is basically, how do I take this current terrain curvature and just bump it up just a little bit so it sort of matches what the terrain does down here. You can see we have just a small little bit of curb here, and then over here there's just, I mean, miles in between the bottom of the path and the top of the terrain. So what I'm trying to do now is basically just elevate it ever so slightly and try to make it look good, because right now it just looks like a meteor struck the earth and left a big crater in its place. So give me a few more minutes, I'll sort this out.
Many minutes later.
You know, I didn't at all think it was going to be possible for me to find something that I despise even more than just placing down plants in this game. But it turns out terrain modification, especially slopes like this, very, very difficult. But I have one side sort of semi-complete. You can see here where it meets the base of the path. This path here, the flatter one, is not using the flattened terrain feature. However, the incline here is. So underneath of its terrain, basically you have to bring the terrain up until it just almost clips through where the path would be, and then you have to do your incline or decline path with flattened terrain turned on, so it flattens the terrain in an incline or a decline, depending on how you're walking up or down it. So that area at the bottom is a little wonky, and then this area up at the top, again, where it connects back up to something that's using flattening terrain or not using flattening terrain, it puts this little bar here in the path just to, you know, signify that the paths are meeting each other here. And then you just have this weird little gap thing right there. I think I'm just going to fill that with a sort of rock decoration, and we'll see if we can get it to look a little bit better, at least. But now I have to do the painstaking tasks that I did for the right side on the left. After all that work, we are finally left with something that looks like it was made by a third grader. No offense, third graders, if you see this just ain't cutting it. It's not really doing it for me. This is not at all what I had imagined, but I do think it's gonna work. What I mean by it's not what I had imagined. Originally, I wanted this center bit to be sunken in and sort of flattened off with the rest of the terrain here. The reason I changed my mind about having the terrain all sunk down in the center is because I don't really think lions like caves. I don't feel like they live in caves naturally. I don't know much about lions, obviously, but that just doesn't sit right with me. So my initial plan was to sink this down and flatten it out with the rest of the terrain, and then have like a tunnel system sort of lead to a cave underneath the terrain over here, and then guests maybe could be able to see them. Instead, what I think I want to try to do is actually flatten out the terrain over in this area, and then try to make a lion house. I don't know what it's going to look like just yet. And now you're probably wondering, Toogii, how the heck are your lions going to get from this habitat over to a lion house over in this area? Well, I'm going to try to build a bridge. I'm going to try to build a land bridge, or a bridge made out of some sort of material that the lions can actually walk on. And then we'll have a bridge going from this area out here, which is kind of their playground, to their actual habitat, or their house over in this area. So what I'm going to have to do now is do some more terrain modification, and I will see you guys when I'm finished with that. The terrain definitely isn't fully finished yet. I've only gone through and painted in some short grass just to make it look a little bit more normal. I might even go through and do a little bit of rough rock and just kind of sprinkle that in there. I'm not really sure how I want to go about the rest of the terrain just yet, but having all of this done will now allow us to move on to phase 2 of our operation. The first step for phase 2 is we have to go into construction under architecture, go to walls, and then we just need any old wall. We can pick out any old wall. Actually, let's just make sure it's at least Africa themed or Africa inspired. And then I'm just gonna place this roughly in the corner. We're gonna have to move this whole thing anyways, so we won't have to worry about that for too long. But what I want to do now is just make sure that we can evenly space some type of structure in this area. And I'm finding out now that it doesn't look like our grid is actually straight. So that's nice. The grid for the path, I mean, is not actually straight. Good. Good. I'm glad that that's not working well. There we go. So we have 4 corners of the building now figured out. All we have to do now is move this structure into the center. It's not perfect. You guys saw the path alignment isn't exactly rock solid, but I think it'll work for the time being. So this is going to be the base blueprint of our lion house. I really hope we can find some way to have a land bridge go from here into this facility, but we're gonna have to wait on that. So what I want to do now is we are going to edit this whole thing as a group. And then I want to try to use some glass. So we have the log wall large window. I definitely like the look of this. I think it matches the rest of the African mud wall really well. So far, this is what we're working with for the actual lion house, or the lion enclosure, the place that they're going to spend most of their time. I'm having a tough time trying to figure out how I want to do the roof configuration here, because you can see the thatch roof that's actually made to go on top of the mud walls, and these log walls here is actually half the height of a full-size wall. So that kind of has me wondering if maybe there's something else that I should be doing instead of double stacking these windows here. Like, what if we got rid of that and then we just go back to walls? Let's get like a 2-meter log wall and let's put that on the top. Does that line up a little bit better? There we go. Otherwise, we could have the entire thing be roofed in the thatch roof, but I don't know if that's gonna look the greatest. And then, not to mention, like, what do we do on the inside for, say, this corner, for example? What do I do here? Do I just do something like that? And that would totally hide the interior of the roof. I don't know, that's actually not that bad. I don't know. I mean, the main idea here with the whole windows and everything was just so that the guests could actually see these lions walk across the bridge, which I still haven't actually constructed, but it's coming. All right, you guys can kind of see what I'm going for here. We're gonna try to do some type of land bridge, something that's at a slight angle here, and we're gonna have it meet this wood floor. And then on the inside, we're just gonna basically do the exact same thing, have some type of angled structure that they can hopefully walk onto, and that'll let them down into the base of this facility over here. I'm gonna look this thing over for a few more minutes and see if there's maybe something else that we can do, some other type of architecture. I like the building design, I like the shape of it. It's obviously just a square. And I'm like, yeah, Looks good, dude. Here we go. See, this isn't so bad. Oh man, I don't know. Should I now? Dude, every time I'm like, oh, see, this isn't so bad, then I'm like, wait a minute, I could do this way and it might look better. I'm actually kind of feeling this though. You know what? I'm vibing with this structure. I think this is actually what we're gonna go with. So the thing that I was just thinking about is, I don't know if I should maybe swap these around. Like, do I put this shorter wall on the bottom here and move the window up higher? Or do I just leave it? I think I'm just gonna leave it. Yeah, I think I'm just gonna leave it. And then this stuff up here, do we really need that? Oh, kinda. Kinda. Yeah, otherwise there's gonna be a weird hole in the wall. And then the last thing here that I just wanna talk about with you guys before I just kind of finish the whole building is, instead of the square corner here, I think we're gonna opt in for a round corner. We're gonna have to change the thatch roof on that corner as well. I just like the look at that a little bit better. I mean, we have a lot of hard edges right now, and I just feel like we need to sort of smooth things out on those corners. So next time we see each other, the building should be nearing completion, unless we run into any other weird speed bumps. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another round of Is It Ugly? Today we have the lion exhibit. Dude, I don't know if it's ugly or not. I really can't tell. This over here has to get changed. Let's go ahead and duplicate another wood floor. Place that down there. I don't know, man. I don't know. It's not that bad. Originally, I was like, you know, there's too much thatch here. There's too much of a thatch roof. So then I tried deleting the corner bits and changing them out for something else. Wasn't really a fan of that. I do like the glass. The glass turned out pretty nice. So all we had to do here was just basically embed one of these glass rectangular panes inside of the wall there. Super easy. But everything else, I would say for the most part, I'm content with. I think the inside actually looks considerably better than the outside, but yeah, I don't know. You guys will have to let me know what you think of it. At the moment, I'm not 100% sold on it. But then, like, there's some kind of nice parts about it, because we have these little nooks over here that we can place bedding inside of, or maybe put food troughs and stuff in there. And then, totally forgot about this, we have to figure out some way for the keeper to actually enter into this area. Additionally, we have to figure out where we want to put the keeper habitat. Why do I always want to say keeper habitat? The keeper hut. The keeper hut. We have to figure out where we want to put that. And I think right here in the front is actually going to be the most perfect spot for that. So we will delete those walls. And we're going to come back in here and grab the mud wall with door. We're going to place one of those in the front here. And then I think we'll actually do another one back here. And then we can probably leave this open. I don't know. Maybe that wouldn't look as nice. Oh, decisions, man. This is my least favorite part of this game, because I am a very indecisive person, but we're going to try to make this work. All right, we're going to try to make this work. I hate this spacing too. Just to make it look a little nicer, I'm going to bring out an additional wall right there, and then let's actually do, which one should we do? Could do a giant opening. Nah, let's just do another door arch without a door. There we go. So we have kind of a weird little crease there in the middle, but we'll never mind that. I think that's going to work. You know what? I think that's going to work out okay. Now, let's move on to this whole incline bridge thing that I still don't even really know what to call it. What if we do that? Can we select both of them? Oh, we can advanced move them. That is excellent. All right, in that case, let's turn on angle snap. And we will advanced move these and just decrease the slope by 2 clicks. That ought to do it, I think. There we go. Do something along those lines. I like it. I like it a lot. And then we'll do another one right here. It needs to come in just a little bit more and up just a little bit. Go easy on me now, okay? We're 2.5 hours into the recording, and I'm just now finishing a very simple, well, should have been, a very simple building. But there we go. We now have a ramp. We're not going to know if that's navigable or traversable, by the lions until we actually get them inside of the exhibit. Speaking of, we still don't even have like a habitat barrier or anything to this thing. Oh god, we got a lot of work to do yet, ladies and gents. Lots of work to do yet. So this one, we're gonna rotate around this way, and then we're gonna click and drag it on over inside of here. And now that it's over here, back it up a little bit more. I think that should work. So it's clipping through the terrain on the bottom, it's clipping through the building on the top. So we'll go ahead and place that down. And I just noticed over here we actually have a little bit of the roof clipping through this wall. So if we take this wall, rotate it around, same thing with this one, that will get rid of that. This is an interesting one, dudes and dudettes. This is definitely an interesting one. I have never done anything with climbable objects before. I remember making like some type of monkey or lemur exhibit, and I just used pre-built stuff. So I didn't have to do any of the guesswork that we're having to do today. But from an aerial perspective, not too shabby, right? Not too shabby. Whoa. Was not expecting that. Was not expecting that at all. Yikes. Is there something we can do to adjust that? I didn't want that to be stupid high like this. Okay, that's better. That's better. We're getting there. So we have this whole main area, the initial area that we built, that is fully walled off now. And it's using thick glass. I believe the West African lion requires at least 9.5 feet tall fences, and I think they have to be grade 3 or better, and then they can't be climbable, which this, thankfully, is all of those things. Now I have to try to figure out if we can do some sort of, oh no, it's already looking bad. It's already looking bad. So what I originally wanted to do was have some type of barrier up here that the animal couldn't climb or couldn't jump across, you know, anything like that. And quickly finding out that I don't think that's gonna be a possibility. So like right about there, let's try that. Does that work? Oh my god, it works. Okay, perfect. And now we're still left with the whole conundrum of how the heck do we add some type of barrier up above here? That way the cats don't get loose and start attacking people, because that would not be good for the zoo. What about that? It takes up a lot more space than I wanted it to, but you know what? I think that actually might work, and then we won't even need these ramps. We can just continue bringing this out. Theoretically, I mean, the animals will be able to use this. I don't know if it's going to function the way I intend it to, but now we're gonna come over here and just try to make it look good from this angle as well. So you can see we have like this thatch roof clipping through the glass and clipping through that wall, which isn't going to look good in the long run. So all I'm gonna do is edit this building some more. I'm gonna get rid of that roof there, and we're gonna get rid of that. Let's go back to roofs and walls, and we need a flat, there we go, one-sided 2-meter eave. We're gonna bring this up to right there just so we match the other one. We'll do another one on this side and then delete the curved variant. No other version of the thatch roof is really gonna look good in this corner, so all I've done is just added a little bit of an angled wall just to kind of give it the illusion that maybe the animals won't be able to climb up the the side here. I don't know. It's going to be interesting, man. It's going to be really interesting when we actually place these animals in, and we'll be able to take a look at the heat map, see where they can actually walk and where they can't. That kind of works in a very weird, unorthodox way. This kind of makes sense. And then the real question is, like, do we put a roof on the top of that? I guess time will tell. But as for right now, I'd say I think we're finally ready to adopt a couple of these West African lions. So we're going to open up animal trading, and we're going to change the African elephant filter to, wait for it, the West African lion. We have a 3.5-year-old male right here, Bomani, and then we have a 4.1-year-old female, Olani. I don't know how to pronounce any of these names, like, ever, but I'd say those two are probably the best option. So let's see, we have Bomani now in the zoo. They are much, much smaller than I was anticipating. And then we have the female. I can't pronounce her name, so I'm not even gonna try again. Here we go, dudes and dudettes. Wait, he's already making his way over there. this whole thing is climbable. A little scary. Multiple animals are hungry. What are you talking about? Keeper assigned. Okay, go feed the animals. What are you doing? All right, homie, we gotta check out your heat map if you'll let us. Let's go to heat maps maybe, and then animal welfare. No, it's not under that. Where the heck was it? Habitat? There we go. Oh, interesting. Okay, so this is technically gonna be an escape then if they go past this barrier. Yeah, it says walkable escape point. Okay, jumpable escape points, we don't have any of those. Climbable escape points, we're good on that as well. So yeah, we just have to, well, I don't know. I mean, what's the worst thing that happens? We just get a notification every time the animal goes from their house to their playground area. I mean, that's not terrible. They definitely can't actually escape from here, so maybe we'll be okay. But now that we have the animals placed inside of their habitat, let's go ahead and exit the heat map. We need to finish out the interior of their little house over here. There we go. That says habitat 11, and then this one is habitat 12. So somehow we need to combine habitat 11 and 12 so that the animals can go to and from without any issues. But the problem is, I have no idea how to do that. Hang on just a gosh darn minute. Get rid of that wall. Get rid of that wall. Get rid of the invisible barriers we put over here. We want to get rid of all of those. I know, it's gonna say that there's a dangerous animal on the loose. There isn't, okay? They're actually very nice animals. Let's get rid of this and that. Okay, so now this whole enclosure should technically be one unit, right? There's no gate to it though, so I mean that's a problem. Okay, so now there is a very clear defined entrance into the habitat, but that is saying that only this area is a habitat. Dude, how do you do multiple habitats? It just doesn't make sense. It just doesn't make sense. So let's add a gate up here. There we go. So now this is one massive habitat, right? Right? It's showing 2 species in there. 2 West African lions. Okay, but they can escape. They can 100% escape, and she is about to prove it right now. So if we go into heat maps, oh my god, and then click on the lion, or wait, can she escape though? At least this is showing that they can, you know, walk across the land bridge. So I guess it's not a land bridge, an actual bridge. So that's good. But she is testing the boundaries. Are you kidding me? It can't jump this fence? What? There is no freaking shot, dude. No freaking shot. I gotta test this though, just really quick. We're gonna take all of that and convert that into a null fence, just for the moment, okay? Just for a sec. Now we're gonna go back into heat maps, click on the animal, click play. Dude, they apparently cannot escape. That doesn't make a lick of sense. They can't escape a fence that's like not even 3 feet high, not even 2 feet high. What? Also, important alert requires attention, always just gets burned into the screen, and as soon as it pops up, it almost never goes away. But let's get rid of all of those alerts, and let's also get rid of those keeper alerts, and we'll press play. We'll see what new alerts maybe pop up. But this is so bizarre. I'm not gonna keep the habitat keeper gate up here, but this is so weird. It kind of just did us a solid too. Let's edit this building. Of course, we have the keeper hut out here, but we don't have anywhere for that staff member to actually rest at. So let's come into here, staff facilities, and we're gonna scroll down to the staff room small. We're gonna put one of those in here. There we go. So originally we were gonna try to use that as a doorway into the habitat. That's of course not what we're doing now. All right, so that works for me. I'm happy with this. The only problem now is we need to find a new location for the entrance into this exhibit, and it cannot be anywhere here. We can't have a wall down the center and split it up. So it has to be on the outside somewhere. I'd say maybe on the sides. That's probably a good enough spot for it, right? Place that down right there. And then on the other side, it wasn't looking like, yeah, it's not going to let us do multiple gates, which is kind of a bummer. But let's get rid of this wall on the building again. So we're going to go to Edit, Delete, copy over that existing wall. There we go. Okay, and then I like the placement of this. I feel like the placement of that is going to be good. And then theoretically, the keeper should be able to climb this bridge thing that we've made and make it onto the other side. Hopefully, fingers crossed. I don't actually know if this is gonna work, you guys. This is the first time in a while where I've done something that I haven't done before. It's definitely not what I intended to set out to do today, but we're looking good. Looking good. Minus the whole little dangerous animal escape alerts and whatnot. Let's clear those and they should go away. All right, real quick, let's go ahead and check your heat map once again. We have traversable area right there. Staff traversable area. Traversable. Staff traversable area. That also looks good. What about the ramp? Ramp is good. And then let's do shelter. This is all hard shelter, dude. That is great. That is phenomenal. It's mediocre hard shelter, though. It's not very dark. Well, it's kind of dark, I guess. And then habitat cleanliness. Just got one big old poop up there. We got 2 lions. They're loving life. We have a enormous hard shelter for them. And then we have a pretty good size plot of land out here for them as well. Terrain is 47%. So we do still have to do the short grass, long grass, all that good stuff, you know, change the painting. But their area, their navigable land area is spot on. Perfect. Okay, what's going on? What's going on with this? Can we address this, please? What is happened? Meerkat, 8 alerts. Hungry. Why aren't you being fed? Keeper urgently assigned. Where's the keeper? What are you doing? What are you doing? You're stuck in a What? How do you get stuck in a group of people? Okay, my guy. No wonder the meerkats are struggling so much. Let's drop you on over there. What are these people doing? We're gonna move you. Disperse. Please, for the love of God, disperse. What the heck was that all about, dude? I've never seen that happen before. Never. And we've been playing Planet Zoo, Planet Coaster for a long time. Okay, those guests are very agitated. Very agitated. The animal's starving. Okay, meerkat, doggo, you gotta get on it, dude. You gotta get on it. All right, put a little pep in your step. I know you're tired, but geez, these animals are starving to death. Good God. Look at this. You're just letting the stank build up in here, dude. Guests don't want to smell that. Great. And now the Karens are here. You're in here somewhere. I can smell them. I can smell the Karens. There they are. Fantastic. Oh, yo, the Karens are fed up. The Karens are fed up. Animal welfare has attracted protesters. I get it. Can you not give me 46 alerts on the same thing? There we go. He's gonna go get some food. We're gonna fast forward. Oh, Inspector has just left. What do we got? The Inspector says everything's fine. Why are the Karens still here? Come on back out, buddy. I think he's mixing up some food for him right now. There you go. Refill that feeder. Refill this one. Okay. Come on, get it while it's hot, boys. Get it while it's hot. All right, let's check on the overall status of the animals now. It's getting better. It's getting better. A couple of the animals are still hungry, so we're gonna call the keeper back out again to refill the food once more. He's gonna check his little list, be like, okay, I need this, and this. He's gonna go. Where is he going? He just walked away. All right, maybe he's got to get a drink or go to the bathroom or something. I don't know. I'd say we're good. We only have 4 more meerkats that are considered, you know, in critical condition here. So it's getting better. Definitely getting better. And look at the amount of guests that are making their way out to the lion house, dude. Now that's impressive. That's impressive right there. You can just peer in from the outside at the animals. The animals don't appear to be that bothered that there's a kind of large crowd of people gathering out there, so that's good. This is overkill for sure for just 2 lions, not to mention they have alpha status in their packs, so I think we'll only be able to have up to 1 male. Females really shouldn't matter too much, but yeah, it's a big exhibit for just a couple of lions, but I definitely thought it was a necessity. We absolutely needed a big cat exhibit, and I guess I went real hard on the big part and kind of skimped out on the cat part, but we have an exhibit nonetheless. You guys, I think that's where we're going to wind things down for today. Once again, if you guys did enjoy, please leave a like, leave a comment, help support the dream by smashing that subscribe button, and I will see you in the next one. Thanks so much for watching, guys. Peace.